Coming to you from the sprawling metropolis that is Ottawa, Ohio, this is Don Kissick. This installment is going to address the presidential debates, which aired earlier this week. Now, if you watched it, you probably feel like a lot of people who have given me feedback recently who said that they got only so far into it before they found it unwatchable. Just the antics and the approach, the so-called debating approach employed by both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton just made it difficult to really, follow all the way through to the end. Now, I believe that if you plan on voting in the upcoming election, the most important question that you could be asking yourself right now ought to be, who is going to be the adult in the room? And perhaps the more important way to phrase that question would be, who do you trust to be the adult in the room? And I'm talking about after the election, once the next president is inaugurated, and it now gets down to the nitty-gritty of making various decisions, signing legislation, issuing orders. Who do you trust to be the adult in the room? We're talking about laws, executive orders that may affect entire industries, where an entire profession may hang in the balance. Who do you trust to be the adult in the room? When it comes time to sign legislation or issue orders involving taxation, revenue generation, tackling the deficit, who do you trust to be the adult in the room? And then, of course, there's one of the more common topics on executive authority, which is use of our military. And I'm not talking about, whose finger is going to be hovering over the button. That's just a worn-out cliche. It's not the 80s anymore. The more relevant topic there is when it comes to using the military in situations large and small. And we're talking about men and women in uniform going overseas and taking military action where lives will hang in the balance. Who do you trust to be the adult in the room? Is it going to be the individual who attempted to equate enrollment in a military-style prep school with actual service in the military? Do you trust the individual who was a former anti-war protester during the Vietnam years, who slowly, eventually morphed herself into one of Washington, D.C.'s most aggressive war hawks, and did so for the sake of political expedience? Those are the two individuals you think will be the adult in the room? I don't believe that. That's why I believe I can trust to be the adult in the room in all these situations. Former New Mexico Governor Gary Johnson. He has promoted a consistent, non-interventionist platform when it comes to foreign policy and use of our military. He has been very consistent in wanting to simplify the tax code, if possible, eliminate it and replace it with the fair tax. Actually reining in spending in a manner similar to what he did during his 8 years as governor of New Mexico. And when the way he has really proven himself, I think effectively demonstrated that he will be the adult in the room in some of the most important situations and involving executive authority here in America, is the fact that he has tried to do his very best to stay away from attack ads, stay away from the mudslinging while on the campaign trail, focus on his platform, focus on his track record, and how his platform matches with the things he did when he was governor. Who do you trust to be the adult in the room? Is it going to be Trump? Is it going to be Clinton? I say the adult in the room, the one I trust to do that, is Gary Johnson. And I strongly urge you to give him your vote.